Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM. Up next, we head to the Wild West with our featured filmmaker tonight, B-movie standard bearer Roger Corman. From 1966, Millie Perkins and Jack Nicholson star in The Shooting. The film is a great example of Roger Corman's practicality when it came to making movies. Corman had no problem spending money, even though that money paled in comparison to what major studios had in their budgets. Roger Corman knew he wasn't going to make the next Citizen Kane unless Charles Foster Kane was the father of an imprisoned stripper named Candy Kane. Who doesn't want to see that movie? When Roger Corman greenlit a film, all he wanted was to make a picture entertaining enough to draw an audience and earn a profit enough of one to make the next movie, and then the one after that to keep the assembly line moving. For The Shooting, Corman served as executive producer, providing the financing to get the film made. Actually, typical of Roger, a longtime friend to TCM, he was providing the financing to get two films made. In 1964, two friends and former colleagues approached Roger. Monty Hellman, who directed the horror film Beast from Haunted Cave for Corman in 1959, and Jack Nicholson, who'd acted in several Corman films, including The Little Shop of Horrors. Hellman and Nicholson wanted Corman's help to produce a script Nicholson had written, a drama about abortion. Roger Corman thought the topic was both too risky and not commercially viable. However, Corman did like that combo of Hellman and Nicholson as a filmmaking duo. Instead, Roger suggested they consider making a couple of westerns. Corman wanted them to make the two films back to back. Then, over the course of 6 weeks, using the same crew, locations, and with Nicholson and Perkins starring in both, they did just that. Nicholson wrote one, Ride in the Whirlwind, the story of two men who get mistaken as members of a criminal gang. The Shooting's writer, Carol Eastman, used the pen name Adrian Joyce. This is the story of a bounty hunter, played by Warren Oates, hired by a mysterious woman to help her cross a desert, but he soon realizes she has ulterior motives, especially when a sadistic gunslinger joins them on the journey. That is Jack Nicholson's character, with Millie Perkins as the woman who is never named. This is not a traditional Western. It's more of a mood piece that some critics have called the first existential Western. Here it is, from 1966, The Shooting. As I mentioned earlier, Jack Nicholson and Monty Hellman made The Shooting back-to-back with another Western produced by Roger Corman, written by Jack Nicholson, called Ride the Whirlwind. When the films were finished, Nicholson and Hellman took both movies to festivals looking for distribution. They ended up selling the rights to a French company. They sent the reels to France just as that French company went out of business. And that started an 18-month process of Nicholson and Hellman trying to get the rights back so they could claim the film cans from the French customs office. Meanwhile, back in the States, Roger Corman, who wasn't really happy with either film, sold the rights to a distribution company that condemned the movies to late-night TV runs across the country. It wasn't until years later, when Jack Nicholson became, Jack Nicholson, that his notoriety, his fame, prompted demand to see the films, mainly from fans eager to see more examples of his early work. Both Westerns eventually earned enough of a following that in 2014, the Criterion Collection released them on a double bill on DVD and Blu-ray. Coming up, more of our salute to producer Roger Corman with a documentary about his life and his work. Roger Corman, the Pope of Pop Cinema, is next on TCM.
Next on TCM, Roger Corman, the Pope of Pop Cinema, then Stakeout on Dope Street, and later, Made in England, the films of Powell and Pressburger on TCM Tonight.